As you may know, I'm a big fan of the writings of C.S. Lewis. In today's episode, I talk about how he thought about his own work and its importance, which raises some interesting questions for how we think about our work today. Hello, friends. Thanks for taking a little time to be with me today. It's good to be with you as always. In my spare time, one of the things I enjoy doing, I don't know if this will sound incredibly boring to you or not, but I actually love listening to podcasts about different periods of history. And in one podcast I just listened to, these are usually audio podcasts, I heard the story of an English author who is today best known for his ghost stories. And as an aside, it turns out that ghost stories being told at Christmas time is a thing in England. I did not know that until I listened to this podcast. In any case, as I say, he's well known today for his ghost stories, even though that was not what he was best known for in his professional life while he was alive. Now, I maybe will tell the story of him another time. The important point for us today is that got me thinking about our dear friend C.S. Lewis. And it turns out that there's something parallel in C.S. Lewis's life to that story I heard on the podcast. If I do a word association game with you and say, I say C.S. Lewis and you would say, and my hunch is most people would probably say either the Narnia Chronicles or Mere Christianity. Those are the things that he is far and away best known for today. So that's these 7 volumes of the Narnia Chronicles, or Mere Christianity here in one of the many, many editions, or he's got all kinds of collected volumes of essays and sermons and so forth, all of which he is known for today. But during his lifetime, the most important thing he thought he did was this. I don't know if you can read that. I'm going to read it for you. This is volume 3 out of a 12-volume set of books called the Oxford History of English Literature. C.S. Lewis's contribution, again, volume 3, was called English Literature in the 16th Century, Excluding Drama. Exciting. No one knows about this today. No one. Well, maybe some specialists. And here's what Lewis said about this in a letter to a friend when he published that volume, which he called the O Hell volume, Oxford History of English Literature, OHEL. He wrote to a friend, he said, "Thank goodness I finished this big academic work I've been engaged in these last 15 years. 15 years he worked on it." And then he says this, "It was the top tune all those years. And all the other books I published during this period," I love this phrase, "were just the little twiddly bits." So Mere Christianity, Screwtape Letters, Narnia Chronicles, all of the writing he did as a conveyor of Christian truth, all of that he considered the little twiddly bits. And by the way, he did not think anyone would care about any of his writing after his death. He died in 1963, if memory serves, on the same day, by the way, that JFK was assassinated. And yet, of course, it turns out he has become one of the ongoing best-selling Christian authors of all time. And the works that sell the best are the things he did not think were the most important, the little twiddly bits. So that is an interesting fact about Lewis, but it prompts me to ask the question for all of us who are Christian, or maybe who aren't, maybe we don't know what our long-term impact is going to be as well as we think we do. Maybe the things that are going to be most important in the future, our legacy, aren't the things that we are preoccupied with while we are living. And so I think it's just kind of an interesting thought experiment to consider, what do you think is the most important thing in your life, 1, and 2, at the end of time, when you're no longer here, do you think that, or those things that you think are most important, are going to be how people remember you? Or might they remember you for other reasons, maybe even unknown to you? a kind word to a stranger, the way you've loved your children, the way you've cared for your aging parents, the way you've been a faithful friend. Maybe those are the things that are going to be most important in the end. And again, I think as we look at C.S. Lewis, it's an interesting way to reflect on what's most significant, what's most important in our own lives. As always, thanks for listening. Be well, stay in touch, and God bless.